Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie Ghani, and in this video I wanted to share with you the process that I went through when I was designing and working in collaboration with Rachel Parker to bring to life our 10th birthday celebration fabric print called Be Happy Blooms. Now this fabric design is exclusive to Guthrie Ghani and it was released as part of a Sewing Society kit on Saturday the 1st of April. And the kit featured the Closet Core Knix top and dress, and we do also have the fabric available by the metre as well. Now depending on when you're watching this video, it may be that the fabric has sold out. We are expecting it to be quite popular, but I hope you find the process of how I came about to design the print and what all of the different flowers and elements featured in it all mean, and yeah, it just might give you a little bit of an insight into what is behind this special design. So first of all, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the idea and how I kind of came up with wanting to do this project. So I have been running my shop, Guthrie Ghani, for 10 years. We opened in 2013, and during that time the business has really grown and changed and developed. The team have grown, my own family's grown. We have sort of changed our business and made it more focused on dressmaking fabrics and helping our lovely customers to sew their own handmade garments. And it felt like a really good time to just celebrate this business milestone of being a business for 10 years. And I do just feel more passionate than ever about helping and empowering our customers to make clothes for themselves, feel that sense of pride and satisfaction, and just really enjoy the whole process of picking out a project to work on, doing the sewing, and then ultimately getting to wear some pretty awesome clothes as well. And what better way to do that than to bring together a lovely, beautiful design that you can use to sew into lovely garments. So over the 10 years that I've had the shop, I must have seen thousands of different fabric prints when I've been buying fabric to sell in the shop, and I feel like it's given me a really good idea of what works well in a dressmaking fabric, and also what you, our lovely customers, like in a fabric as well. Certain types and scales and colours and combinations of prints can be more popular than others, so I felt like I had a really good idea of what I thought might be really nice myself. Of course, I love the prints, and also what I thought our customers would like as well. Now, when I was deciding on who to work with to bring this idea and this print to life, I reached out to Rachel Parker, who we had worked with previously. A couple of years ago, I saw one of her gorgeous designs on Instagram, and I bought the exclusive rights to that so that I would then own the design and I could do whatever I liked with it. I got Rachel to recolour it for me as well, and I named it Chica Cheetah, and this was a really popular design for us. We released it in a couple of kits, the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress, and then also in the Closet Core Elodie dress. And the By Hand London Marie shirt as well. It's such a beautiful, lovely, colourful design, and I just love Rachel's design aesthetic and all of the amazing details and colours and just vibrancy that she has to her designs. So I thought it would be a really good fit that she could bring my idea to life for our special birthday celebration print. If you do like the look of the Chica Cheetah print, the original base cloth that it was on was a viscose, which is all sold out now, but also as part of our 10th birthday celebrations, we did bring that print back, this time on an organic cotton French terry fabric with some matching ribbing as well. So again, depending on when you're watching this video, it may or may not be that we still have that fabric available, but all the links to the fabric and the listings will be in the description to the video anyway. So in terms of the initial concept of the fabric, I felt quite open-minded about what it was going to look like, but I suppose I was feeling like there were certain criteria that I wanted it to have. I definitely wanted it to have lots of colour, and I knew that I wanted it to be really bright and floral and spring-like because our 10th birthday is in the month of April, which is spring here in the UK, so I really wanted it to reflect that season, and that it would just be really light and fresh and just make you feel really happy. I also wanted the size and scale to be abstract enough that you wouldn't have to worry about pattern matching, because I know that can seem quite overwhelming and daunting for a lot of our customers. So I wanted to make sure that I got that right in terms of making sure you wouldn't need to pattern match the fabric. So I also wanted it to be non-directional as well, just because that can make it a little bit easier in terms of placing your pattern pieces on the fabric. I wanted the scale not too small but not too big, so just kind of somewhere in the middle. I didn't want it too ditzy, but I didn't want it really large scale and too overpowering as well. And to almost tell a bit of a story and have little details in it, kind of so like every time you looked at the print you might notice another little feature or a detail or just something that you maybe hadn't noticed before. So I had a chat with Rachel and she suggested finding plants and flowers that were somehow connected to me, my family, by name, or that meant something to me, maybe flowers that grow in certain places or where they're from, or flowers that grow at certain times of the year as well. So I did a little bit of research and I came up with a list of different florals and plants and foliage that I really liked the look of, but also had some sort of name connection to me. So there are quite a few plants and flowers and botanicals that have Lauren in their name. So there is the Lauren Peony. I also found a dahlia, beautiful dahlia called Lauren Michelle, and then also the Polyantha Rose Lauren too. And then I also looked for my children's names as well. My daughter's name's Sophia, so we have got the herb Sophia, Sophia Fuchsia. Fuchsia is also my daughter's favourite flower. She loves popping those little pods. And also the Sophia Renaissance Rose. My little boy's name's Solomon, and we do also have the Solomon seal plant in our garden as well, so it felt natural that that would go on the list too. And daisies and sweet peas are the birth flowers for April, which is our anniversary month. That's when we opened the shop. And then also the harebell, which is a common wildflower in Scotland, which is where I'm from. So I looked for lovely images and photographs of all of these different plants and flowers, and Rachel then used that to start off sketching out some ideas. So she brought to life these beautiful flowers in her sketchbook, and the images that she shared with me of the things that she was sketching out and sort of trialing and seeing how things could work together are just even so beautiful in themselves. I mean, this is just like the first sketches. It's not even nowhere near being a fabric print yet, but you can already tell that they are just so beautiful, so much detail and thought that Rachel has put into all of these different elements, and using watercolours as well to colour them, which really brings some beautiful tones and colours to the print. So once Rachel had started working through all of those sketches, she started to bring them together digitally for me so that we could sort of get a little bit of an idea of the direction and how the print was looking, and this was done on a cream background. So this is the first sort of stage of actually putting it into a design that then would be a fabric print, and looking at colour palettes as well. Once that was done, then it was a case of padding out the print and looking at the repeat a little bit, filling it out and seeing how the different elements come together. Now, when it started to get to this stage, I was beginning to have doubts about the fabric being directional. So that was part of my initial brief, that I wanted the fabric to be non-directional so that it would make the fabric really flexible in terms of where you were placing your pattern pieces. But I felt like some of the things that were included in the print were quite dominant in that they did definitely have a top and a bottom. The Solomon seal and the herb Sophia probably being the two sort of standout things that I just felt were looking upside down in the print. So I revised that part of the brief and I said, no, Rachel, I'm sorry, I think we need to change things around a little bit, get everything going the right way. We're going to make this print directional. So we started working through that, developing the print a little bit more. And it was also at this stage that we started to look at the scale of the design as well, and how big it was going to be in relation to the body and when you actually wear it. So what I did was print out the design files at 100% scale, and then I could hold them up against me and try and get a feeling for whether the scale was right or not. Is it too big? Is it too small? But it wasn't about shrinking the whole thing up or down. It was looking at the different elements within the print as well and making them the right size in relation to each other. So some things needed to be made a little bit smaller, some things a little bit bigger, and really playing about and getting that balance right. So a little bit of trial and error in that. So once things really got to the right size and scale and we were happy with the design on the cream colorway, then it was time to start recoloring it. So I also wanted the fabric to be in a teal colorway and a navy colorway as well. But when you change the background of a print, it means you have to change all of the different elements in it as well. So Rachel really amazingly brought these prints to life in the different colorways by changing all of the tones that were within them. We sort of played around a little bit with the color of the leaves, because on the teal background, the leaves of the Solomon seal plant were, it was about getting the balance of the greens right when the background was teal. So there was, again, a little bit of trial and error there. But eventually we got there. We had 3 absolutely beautiful designs at the right scale that I just knew would be really beautiful as a fabric. So once the designs are done, then it is on to the production phase of the fabric. And the first stage of that is getting strike-offs. So this is where the factory, the mill that are producing the fabric do like little test prints onto different base cloth so that you can see how the print and the colours are translating onto fabric. And the base cloth that you put a print on can really affect things in terms of the sharpness and the crispness of how the print is looking and how the colours pop, or sometimes different fabrics can flatten the colours a little bit. So the first round of strike-offs that I got, the base cloth that it was on was actually a rayon, and I felt like the threads that had woven that base cloth were just a little bit thicker, and it was meaning that some of the details on the print were getting lost because the thicker fibres, the thicker threads of the fabric just weren't able to capture that detail. So we did a second round of strike-offs. This time we tested it on an Ecovero viscose base. So Ecovero viscose is a certified type of viscose that is just produced in a slightly different way that is more environmentally friendly than some other methods of viscose production. So when I got those strike-offs on that base cloth, I was much happier with the sharpness of the print, the way the colours were looking on it. It felt really buttery and soft as well. And it really felt like it was the right combination of fabric and print together. So then it was a case of putting it into production, and then I got to see a metre length of the fabric, so I could see it on a much bigger scale, and I could see the lovely selvage design that Rachel had done for me as well on the side of the print, Be Happy Blooms. So then it was a case of getting all of the fabric manufactured and then waiting for it to arrive here in the UK. So once the fabric actually arrived here, there was a lot of fabric for us to deal with, but it was really exciting, and the G&G team and I then got to work creating lots of beautiful samples for the Sewing Society kit that the fabric was going in, which was featuring the closet core, Nick's dress and top pattern. And we also made some samples as well for the amazing window display that we are creating for the event, and you can see more details about that in a separate video. I'll do a feature and talk through all of the different other patterns that we used when we were making up the samples. So I hope you've enjoyed having that little insight into the designing process of our gorgeous fabric print Be Happy Blooms. As I said, we do have it available as a Sewing Society kit, or we have it available by the metre as well, and depending on when you're watching this video, we may or may not have some left. At the moment as I'm filming it, we do have lots, but we are expecting it to be quite popular. So you can check out the links in the description to this video if you're interested in the fabric. If you've got any questions at all or comments, please feel free to leave them below, or you can email or call the shop. The G&G team and I are always more than happy to help and hear from you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on my next video, and I will see you next time. Bye.